these many siblings, I bet it gets pretty loud at home. Get it? Because they're the oh my god. You guys better prepare yourselves for pun overload.
Crashing through the crowded halls, dodging girls like ping pong balls just to reach the bathroom on time. Leaping over laundry piles, diapers you can smell for miles. Guys gotta do what he can.
Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, super excited to give you all my review on the newest Nickelodeon animated TV series, The Loud House. So The Loud House follows Lincoln Loud, the middle child and only boy in a family of 11 kids who has to survive the day-to-day shenanigans of his 10 zany and out-of-control sisters. Now I've heard plenty of praises regarding The Loud House. In fact, it was so good that it actually dethroned SpongeBob as the #1 most viewed show on Nickelodeon, which is an incredible feat for a new series to pull off, to beat out such an established and popular series as SpongeBob, which has been the lifeline for Nickelodeon for decades now. I mean, that's freaking awesome, and that actually sparked my curiosity to see how good this show really is. And a lot of my subscribers were asking me and begging me to give the show a watch, so I decided to watch the first 4 episodes on my Let's Watch Something series, and after just seeing the first episode, not all 4, just the first episode, I was instantly hooked, and I could definitely see why this show beat out SpongeBob, as it's so fresh and creative, unique, and hilarious. This show is a hoot. It's so much fun, and I cannot believe it took me this long. I mean, yes, the show only came out like, what, 4 months ago? So I'm not too late to the party, but man, I should have watched this show a long time ago, because my goodness, this is what I loved so much about Nickelodeon. Shows like The Loud House. This is literally a return to form for Nickelodeon. So let's begin this review by stating all the fantastic things that this show offers, starting with its animation. The show's animation instantly stood out to me, with its art style and character designs giving off the whole Sunday comic strip vibe, very reminiscent to the Peanuts or Calvin and Hobbes. Which makes a whole lot of sense considering that the show was heavily influenced by newspaper comic strips. And the movements of the characters are energetic and fluid, exactly the kind of animation needed for a zany cartoon like this. I also appreciated that the show is hand-drawn rather than 3D, which has become oversaturated in the market. That really helps to make it stand out against its competition, and as a fan of 2D animation, I absolutely loved seeing it. I guess you can say overall, I was drawn to the animation. Get it? Because, oh my god, it continues. The humor in the show is solid and consistently funny. Even I, as an adult, found this show to be outright hilarious. And that's because it utilizes the best way of doing comedy for a show like this, which is the interactions among the characters. The jokes do not come from like them just saying jokes. It comes from how the characters interact with each other. Because each character has such an exuberant personality that once they collide, cartoony comedic gold is made. Some of my favorite episodes is whenever the characters would interact with each other, all 11 of them. You know, they all work in their own way, but when they all come together, the show is made even funnier. And one of my favorite episodes that highlights this is episode 15 called Cover Girls, where each of the characters have to pretend to be another sibling, and the way that they portray their other siblings, you might think that that's them just being over the top and kind of making it seem like exaggerated, but they actually knock it out of the park. They nail the personalities down. And if the comedy in a kid's show can appeal to both its target demographic and the adults, you know you got yourself one solid gem of a show. I was laughing and smiling so hard while watching The Loud House that my cheeks began to hurt. The comedy is enough to make you want to cheek it out. Get it? Oh my goodness, it's just gonna get worse, guys. The music in the show is rockin', fitting perfectly with the energetic tone of the series, and I couldn't get enough of the theme song. It's so catchy, upbeat, addicting. I mean, it got me so excited to watch the show, and it reminded me so much of theme songs from the early 90s and 2000s that used to play on Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and Disney Channel. In fact, it kind of felt more along the lines of a Disney Channel theme song from the 90s and early 2000s. That's what it gave me the same feeling of. And hey, it beats listening to the songs on the radio nowadays. Huh? Get it? Oh my goodness. And speaking of things we hear, the voice acting is yet another glowing mark for the show, with both veterans and newcomers shining in their roles. A couple standout performances to me were Liliana Mummy as the voice of Lenny Loud, and fun fact, she's also the voice of Beth Tezuka from The Bravest Warriors, and she perfectly nailed the ditzy, unaware blonde type character. Another is one of my all-time favorite female voice actresses and the voice of my childhood, Delisle-Griffin, who voices Lana, Lola, and Lily respectively in the show. And she always kills it in any role that she does. I mean, that's a given. That goes without saying. Good job once again, Mrs. Griffin. And finally, Christina Pucelli as the voice of Luann Loud, the jokester of the family. And though her jokes in the show are pretty cringeworthy, even though I personally found them to be funny, what made this character so charming and likable was Pucelli's excellent voice work for the character. Through her voice work, she was able to add an extra layer of humor and personality, making the character her own. So, Miss Pucelli, excellent job, and you honestly voiced my favorite character in the show, so props to you. I guess I really spoke my mind about these voice actresses. Get it? Because, oh my god. Just gonna keep getting worse. And finally, we have the story and characters. Now, they may not be anything new. In fact, the whole setup of the show and the characters featured in it have all been done before. But as I stated in previous reviews, it's all about the execution. And let me tell you, the execution of this show is excellent, as the stories all come off as fun, hilarious, engaging, relatable, and actually does pretty well to teach a moral or two now and again. And the characters? I love them! Except for one character in particular, and we'll get to that person real soon. But first, let's talk about all the good characters, as each of them really stood out and have their own interesting personalities. Like, oh my god, you got the bossy, oh my god, he texted me, boyfriend-obsessed eldest child Lori, the beautiful, flawless, yet clueless airhead Lenny, and by the way, writers, clever, I see what you did there with your little of mice and men reference with the character's name and behavior, huh? You thought I didn't catch that, but I did. I must say though, well done, and I tip my hat off to you. The Wild Rocker Luna, Pull, the Athletic Lynn, touchdown, woo! The Dark and Brooding Lucy. Please end my life now. The dirt-loving tomboy handy girl Lana. The bratty beauty queen Lola. The lisp brainiac Lisa. The constant pooper Lily. Boop boop. The average middle child straight man of the show Lincoln. And last and most certainly not least, my favorite character in the entire show, the ponderful comedian Luann. The moment I saw this character, I fell head over heels for her. Just the first line that she utters, I'm like, yup, that girl's going to be my favorite character. It was truly love at first sight.
I always knew I was the light of your life.
Not to mention that this dysfunctional yet caring family has undeniable chemistry, both emotional and comedic. One thing pertaining to the characters that I absolutely must praise this show for doing is how they included a gay couple in the show and they didn't make a big fuss about it. They didn't make an entire episode where all the characters were like, what? Clyde's parents are gay? He has 2 dads? Oh my goodness, this is going to destroy the fabric of society. We must boycott, we must riot, we must chase them out of the streets. You can't hang out with Clyde anymore, kids, because he has gay parents. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? No, none of that over-the-top melodramatic crap. No, they treat it as if it was a normal thing. It's okay. They don't present them in a mocking or belittling fashion. They present them as respectable and genuine characters who are a part of this show. And I truly praise the Loud House for pulling this off and including a gay family. And I don't think they did that just to cause up controversy and to get people all riled up. They realized that gay families are becoming more prevalent in society. So including them in a show like this shows proper representation and helps not to isolate them at all when watching these shows. They feel like they're a part of this community, and I like that. I really do. Now, though I undoubtedly adore this show, I do have a couple issues with it. Now, granted, I understand that the show is still ongoing, and it is still a fairly new show, so I'm sure some of the issues that I may bring up in this video may be rectified in later episodes or even in later seasons, but from where the show stands right now, these are some of the irritations and issues that I noticed with it currently. Now let's get into it. My biggest issue with this show is with Clyde McBride. Oh my goodness. I hate this character so freaking much. Not only is he just a walking cliche, but he's just not that funny. He doesn't stand out when compared to all of the exuberant personalities that surround him. He is such a blank slate. He's the Sarah Adonis of the Loud House, if that can paint a perfect picture as to how much I don't like this character. He just comes off as a tacked on token black friend for the main character and a freaking Urkel wannabe. I mean, seriously, think about it. He's a black nerd with big glasses, wears patterned shirts, and has a huge crush on one of the main character's sisters. Just throw in some suspenders and some high pants and the blatant ripoff is complete. And it doesn't help that the voice actor who plays this Urkel ripoff is named, get this is no joke, this is his actual name, Khalil Harris. That is insultingly close to Jaleel White, the actor who played Steve Urkel. I mean, come on, there's no way that this could be a coincidence. The creators must be messing with us at this point. I mean, there's no way. The kid's not a bad voice actor, by the way. I'm not hating on this kid. I thought he did a pretty good job at voicing the character, but I mean, come on. Make the character a little bit more interesting and don't make him such a blatant ripoff of Steve Urkel. And to cast somebody who has a name that's very similar to the actor of Steve Urkel, I mean, come on, really? I must be going crazy. Like, I need to put like a tinfoil hat on my head saying, oh my God, the writers planned this. This is all according to their master plan. To put it straight, Clyde is a black eye on this great show. Get it? Because, oh my God. I'm kind of ashamed that I even said that one. Another issue I found with the episodes that have already aired is that they are a bit repetitive at times, becoming formulaic way too fast, which doesn't bode well for the series in the long run. I mean, just look at shows like the Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants, and the Fairly Odd Parents, shows that had great starts, but as they went on, their concepts, their themes, and their stories got ran right into the ground due to their repetitive nature. And I know the show is still fairly new. Hell, they haven't even completed their first season yet. So, you know, they might just switch it up in later episodes. They might switch it up in later seasons. We don't know. The future is bright for the Loud House, and I expect big things from them. I'm excited to see what they'll bring. But I have to warn them, don't stick to repetitive storylines, switch it up a bit. And tying into that whole repetitiveness, there are way too many Lori-centric episodes right now. I mean, what, there's like 3 or 4 Lori-centric episodes in the 20 episodes that I've seen of this series so far. Why does Lori get so much time and attention out of all the other girls when she herself doesn't even have the most interesting personality? She's a fun character when she's used in small doses and not really the main focus of the story. If she's like one of the background characters that inputs some things here and there, she works. When she's the main focus, not so much. I'd rather they focus on other characters like Lynn, Luna, Luann, and the last thing I want to mention isn't a problem against the series itself. It's more or less a statement / request / demand. I just want to make this loud and clear. I want a Luann-centric episode pronto! Make it happen! How is it that all the other sisters got their own centric episode, yet we have yet to see a Luann-centric episode? Come on, guys. Do it! Make it happen! I want a Luann-centric episode! But overall, guys, despite those small issues that I brought up that can be fixed in later episodes or even later seasons, you all pretty much know how I feel about The Loud House. I think that it is excellent. It's a great kids show, a return to form for Nickelodeon. It's refreshing, it's creative, it's energetic, it's fun, and I couldn't get enough of it, and I cannot wait to see more episodes. In fact, after doing this review, I might just rewatch some of the episodes that I've already seen because that's how good and how entertaining they were. And that's why I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's one heck of a TV show, and if you haven't seen it yet, do. It's fantastic. But anyways, what did you guys think of The Loud House? Did you absolutely adore it as much as I did? Did you find it funny, creative, refreshing, and one of the best Nickelodeon shows of all time? Or just finally boring, dull, repetitive, still, unfunny, and you just couldn't get into it? And let me know who is your favorite Loud family member. Comment below, let me know. Stay tuned, more videos are on the way. I hope to review Snowden and some other things as well. If you would like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not consider donating to my Patreon account? Link is in the description. And if you'd like to send me any fan letters or fan art, why not mail it to this P.O. box right here, and it's also in the description. And until then, guys, if you would like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below, like this video if you really enjoyed it, and I'm talking about in a second, the loud guy known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
In the Loud House, 1.10 girls. Traded for the world.